Question number 11, Ron Mark.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Police and asks, does he believe that the police are allowed to carry out their duties in a professional manner and are able to deal with all New Zealanders equally?
Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Michael Woodhouse.
Yes.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Ron Mark.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the Minister, why then have police commanders in counties Manukau issued instructions to frontline police officers telling them that all Māori drivers detected driving without licences or in breach of licence conditions should not be ticketed but should be referred to community-based driver licence training?
Honourable Michael Woodhouse.
Mr. Speaker, for several years, police has had a compliance policy that enables all New Zealanders to have discretion applied in respect of transport offences, and for the last 5 years, a pre-charge warning process. But I don't condone any policy which has the effect or the appearance of treating one group of people differently from another. Following media reports last night, I expressed that concern regarding the policy to the Police Commissioner. I received an assurance from him that A, this was not the intent of the policy, and B, the policy will be amended to make that clear.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Ron Mark.
Good answer. Would the Minister... Well, it was a good answer.
Order.
Thank you.
Order. On my right-hand side. Supplementary question, Ron
Thank
Mark.
you. Thank you, Minister. Would the Minister not agree with the New Zealand First view, then, that the carrot and stick approach to policing is a smart approach, but that it should apply to all New Zealanders, regardless of their race?
Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Michael Woodhouse.
Mr. Speaker, I would agree with both of those things, and I'm sure the member and his party would join me in agreeing that it is simply not acceptable to be doing nothing in the face of very, very high statistics in respect of Maori offending and reoffending. It's very important that the police's strategies of prevention first are applied to those people most at risk of offending. Now, in this case, it could be Maori or any other group in New Zealand. What's important is that those policies are based on need, not ethnicity.
Supplementary question, Ron Mark.
Is it not the truth that this race-based policing policy is another inappropriate and separatist initiative, this time foisted upon the police through the national government's whānau ora program?
Honourable Michael Woodhouse.
Mr. Speaker, no, it's not, and I don't even think that member believes that. It was clearly a question written for him by the leader in front of him.
Oh, point of order. Point of order.
Order. Point of order, Ron Mark.
Thank you. And then I seek the leave of the House to table the document from whānau ora crime and crash prevention strategy, the turning of the tide, which actually details this very
seat immediately. That's not information that's difficult for a member to get.
Supplementary.
Order. Supplementary question, Kelvin Davis.
To the Minister, is it correct that the police budget has been cut by $15 million in this year's budget? And if so, how can New Zealanders have confidence that police will be there when they need them the most?
Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Michael Woodhouse.
In answer to the first question, no.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Kelvin Davis.
How can victims of high-volume crimes such as burglaries and car crime be assured their complaints will be resolved, given resolution rates of these crimes are only about 10%?
Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Michael Woodhouse.
A very good question, and one which the Law and Order Select Committee asked me at the estimates review this morning. I'm very satisfied that police are concerned about the relatively low resolution rates for what could be described as minor crime, although if one is a victim of that, it's certainly not considered to be minor, and I'll be working with police to ensure that those rates improve.
Question number 12. Scott